This is the market look ahead for the week of March 6th through the 10th. The timestamps are in the description. This is just my opinion. Alright, so like always, starting off with the SPX or the S&P 500. So we never really quite broke this channel. I do kind of give it a little bit of a buffer area just because I draw everything super sloppy. But never really quite broke the channel. So we could be doing our little fifth to go back up. I don't like the fact that it came back into the 1 and 2, but I wouldn't be surprised if it goes up. But if it starts to do, like maybe this was an ABC or a really tight 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is our fifth. Then it would start our 1, 2, 3 all the way down. So anything can really happen right here. I'm anticipating a reversal, but I don't really care where it happens just because I won't put a position on the Qs or the SPY for a minute. But so the same count as last week, this week, super sideways. So nothing really happened. Q's kind of the same thing, except it has the fourth that did not go into the wave 1. So this is a much cleaner count. So that's why the probability of higher before lower is still valid. All right. And for the Dixie or the US dollar, it was a completely sideways week. So this is the exact same where I do like the ABC to the upside. I was kind of hoping for a little bit more of a pullback. So maybe this week we'll get it to drop a little bit more. I would not like to see a break of this pivot or these wicks, but yeah, upside is where I would like it to go. All right, so technology, it was showing a promising area to short from. However, it got completely retraced. So this one still could probably turn around at any point, but I would like a pop up and then a drop back down. That's kind of the count that I would like, or the only count that I would trade off of. So this can do whatever from right here, but the only count that I would trade off of is a pop up and then have it come back down. Okay, so Apple is the exact same. So we did get a nice little bounce off of this area. I was kind of hoping for a deeper retracement. Obviously that can still happen just because this is a super weak bounce, but I would like to get up here eventually to the 164 area. Nvidia is getting stalled by this area, so if everything does go a little bit higher, we could still kind of stay in it, but this one will get tight if technology does keep rising. This is Cisco, and Cisco kind of has the nicest count that is easiest to understand of what I'm expecting to happen. So I am looking for that C wave up to the 2 of the previous 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I mean, I think it already completed its B, so I think the only direction is up and then it can reverse. Other than that, technology has been kind of sideways this week. All right, finance is pretty much the exact same as last week. We got absolutely nowhere. I do think this is selling pressure, so I am still favoring the immediate downside. However, I'm going to show you 2 trades that are kind of, one follows this count where we'll have a little bit higher and then it turns around, and another one will show this count just drop. This would be our C right here, and we would drop from here. So that first one is Berkshire Hathaway, and this is my second count of what I was anticipating, just to drop and then a bounce back. So this would have been the immediate count. It can still drop from here. Like, this is a pretty nice area where it has tried to get through it and hasn't been able to. If it does break this area, I would like to see it pop up into the 326 area and then pull back around for trading purposes. Otherwise, it can drop wherever, but it just isn't trade worthy. The other one is Bank of America, or BAC. So this one, we had our truncated E, and this one has nice selling pressure, like immediately. So this one would be your immediate, like as soon as it opens Monday, we just start dropping from here. So these are kind of your conflicting counts. One signaling a little bit higher, the other one signaling, hey, we're going down right now. Yeah, XLE is pretty much the exact same as last week. I still see a ton of selling pressure when you look at the individual stocks in this, but nothing has broken to confirm either count. So we're either expecting, I mean, this is kind of like obvious, but we're either expecting that 5th wave and then a turnaround, or we're on the 3rd wave, which means it would bounce somewhere in here, cannot break the 2nd, or ideally this would be your 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3. So we'll still have to wait, but if you want to see the individual stocks that are showing selling pressure, I recommend watching last week's video because I went in depth on that. I will bring up APA. So APA is just one of those that does have its level a little bit higher, but I do believe that this is in the area that are close enough to our box that this can turn around at any point. There's a bunch of other ones like this, but this is the pattern that I'm kind of looking for and seeing a lot of inside of the XLE. All right, and utilities is the exact same. It's following our bounce pretty nicely. I would like to see it go a little bit higher, but this one is the exact same as last week. It's just following the plan pretty much to the T. All right, so this is XLY, or the consumer discretionary. I skipped this one last week just because it is showing some stocks are going up, other stocks are showing sell pressure. So this was a little bit confusing, but since I had enough time and everything else was kind of sitting, I decided to try to take a shot at this, or at least explain why I'm confused on it. I still like this count, but it is bouncing off this channel pretty nicely. So we don't have any trend confirmation or the end of the B wave and the start of the impulse C. So there's no confirmation at all. I would just like to show the buying pressure and selling pressure inside of the ETF. All right, so this is Home Depot. So Home Depot, I'm showing a buy. Like, this is a nice pullback. We came into this area. These have had nice pivots before, so going all the way back till March. So I do think this is an important area. How far it goes, I'm not really sure. This could just range out for quite some time. It's not good enough to take a trade off of, but I'm just showing the buying area that I think this one's in. And Dollar General is showing the exact opposite, where its selling pressure is to the downside, and that can either be immediate, there's no move out, but it did break with a gap. So I would like to see this gap filled and then a short from here. So this one is trade worthy. However, it is high risk just because I don't really understand what's going on the larger picture. And this is APTV. So this one I am expecting a little bit higher and then a short from there. But just showing how crazy all these stocks are. All right, this is Yum Brands. This is again popping up. We'll take it at the pivot for a short, get a double top. Look on the weekly. This would be your A, B, C. Pretty simple. Yeah, but this one needs to pop just a little bit higher. All right, and this is DR Horton, or DHI is the ticker symbol. This one is like Dollar General, where it can pop just a little bit, or it can go from right here. A little bit confusing. Yeah, the trend is up on this one. I do think overall it's coming down. This one's not good enough to take a trade off of. All right, this is XLI. So XLI, last week I kind of skipped over it just because I wasn't too sure what was going on. I believe it was here. Yeah, so it was just kind of sitting. Everything was sideways. So we did get a nice pop up this week, which ideally we'd be kind of shorting at this pivot. So I would like to see it come here and then turn back around, either for, like, this would be your wave 1, or this would be your wave 2, or obviously ABC, which would then make this your X wave. It'd basically be your double zigzag, but we'll have to wait to kind of see how this unfolds. All right, this is Waste Management. Waste Management on the weekly is showing selling pressure. So it's not great enough to take a trade off of yet, but maybe we do something like this where you can come down, not really break anything, break this, but not anything crazy. Have a nice bounce back, maybe a little bit deep in this area, and then we fall from there. So we could be looking for something like that, or the immediate, but nothing really too crazy to take a trade on now. General Dynamics is showing the exact same thing. So we are having this nice little sideways flag. Did not break anything, but we do have this pretty sweet double top. And this specifically, where it has this nice wick, and then we have this weird rounded one. These I do like. I see these quite a bit. So I am looking to the short on this one. I would like it to get through this pivot before any trades go on, just because it is on a weekly, and then a bounce back, could be a little one, and then it goes. This one is waiting, but I do have some alerts set up to let me know when this happens. Okay, and Johnson Controls. So this one I have sitting in a weird range. So I don't like this pivot area, to sell into. So you could argue that, yeah, this is your flag right now. It's broke this pivot, so it's to the downside, because you could say that this C wave is done over here, and that would be valid, where you have your 1, 2, 3, 4, and then your 5. So this could be done. If it does go a little bit higher, I would like to get a short on up here, but there's not really a whole lot of profit area, because this one could just be bouncing along for months now, but there's just not enough confirmation of which way it's going to go. And that's kind of what is messing up my count on the XLI, is there's just everything showing a different buying pressure and selling pressure inside of the XLI. Yeah, so this is Train Technologies, or TT. This one looks like it's done. It did get a nice pop this week, so it might be a nice area to short from, but again, just because there's no confirmation of really any anything happening on other areas or the index itself or the ETF itself. It's just too high risk, and I have some higher quality trades that are already on, so I'm just relaxing on pretty much all of these industry charts. And UPS, so UPS, it looked like it's already bit into this pivot area where it just has pivots for days. So this one could break, but ideally I would like to see it come down off of it. So this is kind of where my overall bias is for the downside. You know, it can come a little bit higher and then it would probably pop back down. All right, and this is the materials sector. This is showing pretty much the exact same thing, where I am expecting just a little bit higher for it to turn around. I don't have any, like all the charts inside here are a little bit confusing, where they're kind of going every which direction. I would like to show PVG. This is the closest one to the actual count itself. We are expecting a little bit higher. You can ignore this yellow. I drew this quite some time ago, but I would like to see it pop just a little bit higher and then have it turn back around. This is XLP. Last week analysis is pretty much the exact same thing. We just took another 7 days to do absolutely nothing. I am still expecting a drop. Yeah, everything's showing the same selling pressure. I did have one of the charts going to the upside, and that was Monster. And Monster, it did bite back into this area, like it is trying to push down. So this could be done, and if this one turns around, I'm negative on the whole sector. All right, and kind of an update on the travel stocks. This is LVS, so we did get a nice pop off of it. So this could be headed to the upside, which means for LVS that this area didn't work. But on some other ones, like Caesars, we are expecting a pop higher and then turn back around. So LVS might have been a little bit of a fluke, and this is the real trade. So I'm still going to follow my plan in LVS, but yeah, just a heads up that Caesars could be popping and then a turn back around for the entire travel sector. Royal Caribbean Cruises, pretty much the same thing, where ideally this would be like a 1, 2, and then your 3, but still negative on this one. And the Norwegian cruise lines, I am expecting or would like to see, like obviously this could turn around wherever it wants, but I would like to see it pop up and then a turn back around. Hilton, I do like this count where it is like a little 1, 2, and then maybe a 3, 4, 5. That would be sick. Yeah, still negative on this one. The only real one of the like hotel companies that went up, and you could kind of call them hotel, is Booking. They're really the only ones that didn't leave any selling pressure, but they are about to run into some selling pressure. Here, all right, just to prove it, this one has buying pressure going up, okay? But we are about to top out, so this one could turn around here. I am negative on the whole thing, but I wouldn't be surprised if this does pop up just a little bit higher just because of all this pressure. I do think that this is your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so it could be done. However, this is your B, which doesn't make any sense for your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 count. So it might be like this is your, let's actually break this down. So this could be your C like that, and then your C wave is an impulse, so it could then be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that. So I mean, it still makes sense to count it like that, but it would have to turn back around pretty shortly, and then this would be, it would make your double top, and then it would be going down for quite some time. I don't know what that looks like for the fundamental guys, but technically this is what I'm expecting is to the downside for this C wave. All right, and I would like to give an update on Alibaba. So a couple weeks ago I was showing an up, however never broke this pivot, which is your, like, that would be your confirmation of the upside, and then the trend or the EMA still got tied in a knot, so didn't really have a nice clean move out. So both counts are still valid. Like this could just kind of sink and go trend trade, or it could bounce off of here and then break this. And I believe I said, yeah, up here is where I would like it to short. So whoops. So it'd be something like that, where I'd be kind of expecting like maybe an A, B, C, just a retracement up to kind of cancel out this huge. It just needs something to kind of bounce back off of this. So it'd be like your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you just need your A, B, C to kind of help out balance this trade, or balance this chart. So just kind of an update on this one. I am still expecting to the upside a little bit, but now there is doubt that it did not break this on the initial push, so it's going to be harder for it to come back up. The update on Bitcoin is looking more like this is your A, B, C type deal, just because this is a gnarly flag. So if we do break this fourth wave pivot right here, we are on our little retracement, so it's happening faster than usual. This would be your fifth down here, and then you go into your A, have a pullback to your B, and then you drop to your C. I do believe that this would be your 2, and then it would be on its way back up, but it really depends on if it comes down. If it bounces off of this, we come back up. It might make sense to drop a short on up here, but we'll see how this plays out, just to ride that C wave down, and then we can jump in an area like in the 19,000s just to ride that third impulse wave up. It does kind of suck that it is turning back this soon, but I mean, it is what it is. It should just make this ABC a lot shorter in time, and yeah, bounce back up to ideally the 30,000 area relatively quickly.